Okay. So if you've got an Instagram account, can you just type in yes in the chat, please? While I wait for everyone else to come in. If you haven't got it, obviously type in no. Okay. So anybody who hasn't got an account, let me know if there's a reason why, or it's just you haven't got around to it. Because some people don't like certain social media channels, and don't want one. So obviously we're looking at this from a business perspective for digital marketing. So if you don't want one for personal, that's fine. But there's a few things we're going to talk about when it comes to Instagram and the type of content, especially. So you may have to create, if you haven't got one, you've got one for business, Claudia, that's fine. If anybody hasn't got an account, you need to just consider getting yourself one just for business or learning. Okay. Hi, Manel. Okay, I think everybody's in now. So let's get started. So, course intent for this session, why use Instagram for your business? We'll find out. Defining the purpose of your Instagram account, understanding the target audience and researching competitors, um, setting up your Instagram account, looking at the difference between a business and creator account, and then creating a strategy for Instagram. So, who uses Instagram? Who do you think uses Instagram? Let's get some hands up and let's get some people talking. So if you know who uses Instagram, put your hand up. Anyone? Everyone. Karen is saying everyone. Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to find where there we are. Okay, who's got their hand up? Let's see. Nobody? Okay. Kieran, who do you think uses it, Instagram? What kind of audience do you think you'll get?
Um, I mean, I use it. People
Okay,
younger than me use it, and my parents use it. So I think it's quite broad range.
broad, yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And do would you agree that it's because it's been around for a long time, it's captured a couple of generations there?
Yeah, I think it's also about people. It's a nice medium because it's video, and also don't get so many adverts. Like you can curate your own feed.
Yeah,
Whereas on Facebook it's just like all ads now, and it's really
true.
annoying.
Yeah, I agree. Um, what about between TikTok and Instagram? Who can give me an idea, like why would you use Instagram over TikTok or TikTok over Instagram? Anyone? What's the difference between the two? Anyone? Anyone want to have a guess or no? Wider audience using Instagram than TikTok. Okay. Yeah. I see a lot of TikToks uploaded to Instagram Reels. Yeah. I see that as well. I don't have TikTok yet. So it's about, remember when I think we talked about it before where different platforms have different audiences. However, it's all about understanding that the person that's on Instagram may not be on TikTok, the person who's on TikTok may not be on Instagram, and it could be just the fact that they got themselves an Instagram account like a few years back and they just stayed there, they didn't move over to TikTok. Or it could be that somebody came into social media on TikTok and didn't move from there. So it's like there's that, but I think it's very similar audiences and it's kind of growing in the similar direction. But TikTok captured um a younger demographic for a certain for example, saying the year 2021 plus, whereas Instagram probably captured the same audience a lot earlier. Okay, but it's basically very similar in the type of content footage that you'll see on both platforms. However, there are some advantages with Instagram because it's connected to Facebook. So you can basically have the same audience that you've got on Facebook on your Instagram. And then there's the analytics side, which is connected as well. So we'll look at that as well. Okay. So let's go back to the slide for a second. So another thing is like Instagram for business. Obviously, when you're using the analytics, the Meta suite, business suite, then you can take advantage of that with the Instagram for business as well. So it's ideal for business in that sense. But then if you think about TikTok, it's got the TikTok shop and the e-commerce side as well, which is growing a lot. Okay, so there are some differences there as well. But obviously, there's a merge of kind of features that go from one platform to another. So Instagram for business, basically Instagram is far more than just photo sharing app. It's a powerful marketing platform used by businesses and individuals of all types and sizes around the world. As part of the Meta Facebook group, Instagram continues to evolve, offering advanced tools to help brands understand, connect with, and sell to their audience more effectively. With its highly visual nature and engaged user base, Instagram provides a unique opportunity to influence buying decisions and build meaningful connections even before potential customers are ready to make a purchase. So basically, your business can have, it can create unique value across all of these areas. For example, you can create genuine interest, engagement on a platform. You can put inspiring content on there, something that is educating people, entertaining, and obviously you can build a community. And it's about that kind of information, but then obviously the shopping side of as well. So what are your marketing goals? Well, every business wants to make money. They want to increase their revenue, get exposure, and this is a platform which helps that. So it's a direct sales, growing your email list for long-term engagement, raising awareness about a new product. It could be about a service category, or basically building a relationship with public figures to enhance visibility. Just a couple of people just admit them. So, how can Instagram help to support your goals? When we think about Instagram, okay, so there's a few things I've mentioned already about the analytics and stuff, and this is how it can help you. So, identify how Instagram can contribute to you achieving your marketing objectives. So, to do that, you need to ask yourself, does your target audience spend time on Instagram? So, if you're on another platform, you could basically um, click on people's profiles and literally see if they got an Instagram account. Usually you might find that similar, like on Facebook, it'll recommend on Instagram those same people. So if like for example on my Instagram, there's been quite a few recommendations and people that I recognize from my Facebook. So obviously the people on Facebook are also using Instagram. So I've added them on, or I've started following them, and hopefully they'll notice me and they'll follow me back. And then TikTok as well. Like if I'm spending time there, I'm seeing the same kind of people having Instagram, or same footage being used on Instagram. So obviously that first question that if I ask myself, does my target audience spend time on Instagram? I would have to say yes. Who exactly is your target audience and what type of content do they engage with? So I find that certain industries, certain topics do really well, like health, food, obviously visual, and things that don't have a language barrier. Food it does really well. Traveling, when you're going different places, taking pictures. But on Instagram, you find all sorts of content, okay? But there's certain content that does really well, and it's just basically about understanding how you can make your business visually exciting. So you have to think creatively. You have to think creatively, but at the same time, you need to think like okay, this is an opportunity for me to create a human element, add a human element to my business. Okay. So it doesn't have to be all professional. It can be very organic. It can be very like you're taking a picture at your desk or something that's just interested in your day, just to kind of bring that human element. Okay. So in that way, Instagram's really good. It helps to connect with your audience on a human level. And that's a good approach to take because the algorithms have changed again and again and again. And one thing that Instagram now rewards people with is genuine content. Obviously, like there's a lot of fake images people put on. That stuff is heavily penalized. There's other actions that are penalized, like if you, buy followers, for example. So there's a lot of things that you should do, and there's a lot of things you shouldn't do. One thing that you should do is understand who your target audience is and what their lifestyle is, what they would be interested in, create content that they would actually like to see. And it may not be directly connected to your business. It may contribute to making that bond or that relationship stronger with your customers. So, are your competitors active on Instagram? That's another question you got to ask. You may just do a bit of research to see if they got these Instagram account and what kind of content they're creating, and that may give you some ideas. It may be they're creating the wrong content, and then that and obviously, like if they are, they're not going to get the same kind of engagement, right? So it will just kind of help you to understand what are your opportunities? Like, can you pivot on that and see if you can create better content? So looking at your competitors is a good thing to do. Maximizing your Instagram investment. So obviously the paid ads and things like that, promoting it, giving it a boost, that kind of opportunity is there if you want to put money into Instagram as well. Instagram can be anything from a full-time effort to a few hours per week with a solid content plan. Even a small investment of time can deliver strong results. So it's either if you got money, then you pay for the ads. If you haven't got money, you can just put time into it. And if you put proper time into it, like you actually get creative and start thinking, okay, what kind of message I'm giving through Instagram, then it will benefit your business. So consider the resources needed to create engaging visual assets such as photos, graphics, videos, etc., to represent your personality and your values. So remember about your values, what you believe in, what your mission statement is. So those are the things that you want to create content around, kind of understanding what kind of message your company is giving, what kind of brand you're trying to create, what kind of impression you're trying to create in people's minds. And also remember that Canva also has templates for Instagram, so you can create content using the templates and put motivational quotes. It could be that you like the style of a slide of different pictures and use that, you know. So I started obviously because of this course, I'm now trying to kind of create some content on a brand that I've created so that I can help you guys see the ins and outs of my journey as well. And I haven't got a lot of followers, but Instagram, for example, I've never really touched much. I know what it is, I understand how it works, but I never kind of focused on it. And now, because of this session, even like I've been looking at Instagram and I've been considering, like, for example, the last time we created the page on Facebook, that was a new page and it allowed us to connect to Instagram, didn't it? So at that time, I couldn't log in into Instagram for some reason, but from Instagram, I could connect to the Facebook page. So if you created a page on Facebook the other day, then what you want to do is go through your Instagram account, see if that Facebook page connects or comes up, because if you're using the same email address, it will. And then you basically connect. Okay, so I've managed to do that. So I'm making these little connections, keeping the same brand, going through the settings, and I'm going to show you my account and I'm going to show you. So I've just posted a few posts, and I'm going to keep that up. And I'm encouraging you to do the same. Okay, so knowing your audience is important, but also finding new audiences, right? So you may have old audience somewhere where they're not that active or they don't know what your brand is about anymore, or you've changed your brand, you're now focused on something else. There's a disconnect. When you start on a new platform that you haven't used before, you haven't focused on before, it gives you that sense of kind of restart, breath of fresh air. You've made mistakes in the past. Okay, let's start fresh. Or people are not engaging on another platform. Let's start fresh. Because once you've started gaining momentum on a new platform, it would also give you that motivation, that encouragement to go back and connect the two. Okay, so that's my like school of thought as well. Like I'm thinking, on Instagram, if I get really active, maybe the people on Facebook that are inactive will, start seeing the activity on Instagram and come over. Or maybe they're inactive on Facebook because they've started moving on to TikTok and Instagram, and I'll find them again. So there's a few things you got to consider about your audience. You either wait for them to come to you or you go where they are. So just understand that, and then understand your audience. So obviously we've been through demographics of your audience, and it's something that you can create a persona about: age, gender, location, interest, and all of these things. If you're following your audience as well, um, the idea is that you're seeing their content on your feed. You'll get an idea of the type of people that basically are coming up on your feed, and you know their location, what their interests are, what their challenges are. And, this is your community as well. So you're kind of blending in with that same community. So, who is your audience? This can be hypothetical at this point. Take 10 minutes to note down who might be following your business, who needs or wants what you offer, who would you like to attract, and who motivates your audience to buy and engage. Okay, so four questions there. Read them, understand them, and just think about it. Take 5 minutes if needed to think, and then share in the chat, please. Okay, so little task for you there. And you've got about 10 minutes, and this is about your audience on Instagram. So if you do have an account, just think about that. If you don't have an account, then still you can answer these questions. Just think about your business and your target audience, okay? If anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask. Or everybody's clear on the task. So 10 minutes and I'll keep an eye on the chat. Okay, so we've got a few people posting now, which is good. I'm going to share a link as well. And this link is going to give you a lot of demographics about Instagram, okay? So have a look at those demographics now. And what I want you to do is put something in the chat that kind of surprised you or you found interesting, okay, from that article that I've just posted. So read the article, read the demographics information. There's other facts there as well. And find if there's anything that really you find interesting or you didn't know before, share it within the chat. And if you're defining your audience right now, make sure you copy and paste that into a document or something where you can refer back to it later, because you might not be there yet. You might not exactly know who your audience is, but all these exercises are going to help you define, because you're thinking about it. So make sure you're not just kind of posting in there and then you got nowhere to refer back to. Yeah, 2 billion people. It's a lot of people to ignore, isn't it? So definitely a platform to pay attention to. Most of the audiences users are under 45. Kind of balance between genders as well. So a lot of facts there in that blog. So definitely read. Cool stuff there. Coffee shops, local residents, students. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so we're going to carry on a little bit now. So go back to the slide. Okay. So we're talking about audience on Instagram, and it's about getting to know that audience. Okay, so for each of your uh, target audience groups, explore and answer the following questions. Okay, so the first question, what types of content do they already engage with on Instagram? What hashtags do they use and follow? And you may want to start following these hashtags yourself because they're following them. They're your audience. You need to kind of understand their interest. Then, what online communities or conversations are they a part of, and which accounts and creators do they follow or interact with? Understand these patterns, and it will help you to create content that is truly resonates with and connects with the audience. So firstly, it's about who is your audience, okay? And when we're thinking about our audience, we all can have a decent idea of who might be interested. Like if I own a coffee shop, obviously people who are into coffee, obviously, that's my target audience, or it could be specific people who like coffee, like corporate individuals, because my coffee shop is based in the city, maybe. And then if it's corporate individuals who are always in a rush, people who don't have time. Now I'm defining my audience. How do I get to define my audience? Well, people are gonna come into my coffee shop, right? And I can people watch. Okay, so start thinking about that. Okay, if it doesn't make sense to you when you, or if things don't come into your mind when you're thinking online, always go back to the brick and mortar scenario, even if you don't have a coffee shop, physical coffee shop, but it's sometimes easier to think about things when you physically imagine, or you can imagine being there. Because we've all been to a coffee shop, we've all been to a shopping center or a shopping mall or a restaurant, or some other business, right? So we can imagine. Whereas when it comes to online businesses, it's very kind of, it depends on their website, depends on the journey. Some things are hidden, some things aren't obvious. So let's take that example. Okay, you've got a coffee shop and you're people watching. You see people always in a rush, or people wear certain type of clothes, or they talk in a certain way. They're having a laugh, or they're more serious, or they're always on a meeting. But these are your customers because they're in your coffee shop. They're drinking your coffee. So for that coffee shop owner, what would they do? They would basically think, okay, I need to know exactly who my target audience is because but that's what Bilal's been talking about. So they would get a piece of paper, they would write down corporate individuals who dress in this manner. Their salary is probably about 60K plus. They can afford my coffee, they come on a regular basis, they like a croissant or something with the coffee. They This is what they talk about. Okay, so you're listening, right? They talk about football or they talk about politics. So you're defining by observing. Now think about online, right? Online you can't actually see your customers. Okay, you can't see your customers, not every time. Sometimes you can, but sometimes you can't. If it's they're creating video content as well, you can. Okay. So that is your opportunity there to go and understand your customers, how they are and what they're interested in. So actually following your audience is a very smart move. So by following them, then you're basically seeing their content on your feed. And if you do it properly and you just don't randomly add people and you know that you're following people who are also following other people, and now you're starting to follow their people who inspire them or interest them, then you'll know the difference. You'll know who's the user, who's the consumer, who's the creator, and it's about almost like mimicking the successful people on that platform. Okay, kind of watching them and filling in the gaps, doing things better than them, and creating content that your audience is actually spending time consuming. Okay. So understanding your audience comes from asking these questions, hashtags of your basically the hashtags that your followers use, but also the content they're watching. Get those hashtags and start using them and write them down somewhere, and then that would also define your niche. You'll also understand where you're kind of focusing on. It may be directly with your business, but it may not be. So knowing your competitors is another way. So if I'm a coffee shop and I got another coffee shop, what's their Instagram account looking like? What kind of people are sitting in their coffee shop? What's the difference between those customers and my customers? That kind of stuff. So if you're online and you've got an online business, not a brick and mortar business, it's a matter of going to their website, going and checking their socials out, and you'll go to the same place. You'll still go to an Instagram account. You're even if it's not a brick and mortar, they still have an Instagram account. They still got Facebook. They still got TikTok. So you're going there and you're checking out their audience and their customers and understanding their brand and analyzing it. Okay. So learning from others while staying true to your unique voice will help you stand out and build stronger connections with your audience. So it's not about you copying your competitors. It's about you being unique and standing up, like standing out. So if they're doing something, you do it better. Okay. So you have to understand them to do that and provide what your potential customers would like. So your competitors are not only businesses that offer the same products or services to the same target audience, those are your direct competitors. Um, in reality, you also must compete with indirect competitors, businesses that offer alternative solutions to the same customer needs. So there's competitors as well. There may be people that provide alternatives, right? So on a high street, there'll be loads of restaurants. Not every restaurant's in Italian. However, you know, people may have Italian, they may go for something else, right? So indirectly, they are still your competitors. They're kind of in the same, they satisfy the same hunger. In the same way, online businesses, it may not be directly related to your business. Like you may have a health product, somebody else may have another product which is not directly health related, but indirectly, it may be there, right? So online businesses, can you think of an indirect competitor for an online business? Can anybody think of one? Or you could think about your own business. Do you have an indirect competitor for your business? So have a little think. Okay, so I'll let you think about that one. And if you come up with something, then you can put it in the chat and explain why they're your indirect competitor. We're going to carry on. So audit your competitors using Instagram. So how do you do that? Well, basically, uh, follow account. Okay, how large is is their audience, their content style? Okay, so what types of content do they post? Do they share images, videos, stories, text-heavy content? What is it that they're doing? Are they succeeding by doing that? What is their personal tone, their voice? What are the hashtags they're using? What kind of trends are they basically getting involved in? What themes or conversations do they focus on? And also, how often do they post and how consistent are they? Okay, so all of these things you got to think about, and that's how you really audit your competitors. And don't feel guilty about it. Like I said before, it's all it's all good. Nobody's gonna say, "Oh, you're cheating," but it's not cheating. It's doing research, and it's valid. Strategy, being strategic. So the strategy is basically um, understanding that you're following people, but your account may look a bit. silly kind of if you got loads of followers, like loads of people you're following, but you hardly have any followers, right? So it may kind of look a bit odd, imbalanced. But following individuals, when you do follow them for a reason. Like, don't just randomly follow people. That is a strategy some people use. They just kind of keep on following. But when you start following lots of people at the same time, you may get restricted as well. Okay, so be aware of that. So during your initial research phase, it's useful to follow hashtags that are relevant to your business and the target audience as well, right? So when it comes to following competitors or individual accounts, it's important to be more intentional. Um, Hashtags you can, basically follow different hashtags, so you'll get that kind of content if you're following the same hashtag. But when you're following directly to your competitor or an audience, like individual accounts, don't go crazy just randomly doing it. Do it for a reason, meaning they may have a lot of followers or they may be creating some good content and you might want to engage with them. Okay. So that's the type of accounts you want to be focused on. Things to consider: first impressions matter. When you follow another business or individual, they can see your profile. Make sure your Instagram page looks professional and represents your brand well before engaging. So basically, set up your Instagram account, have some content in there, make sure your logo's in there, everything looks good. You've got your username and everything. Yeah, your hashtags are in there, and then you start following, okay? Because people are gonna get curious to who you are. Your follows reflect your brand. So the accounts you follow you with your business page communicates your brand values and identity. So make sure you're not following the wrong type of business or the wrong type of account. Avoid following random, unrelated accounts that may confuse your audience because it's all related. So even you following people, you got to think, okay, I'm in the health industry. I need to follow people in my industry. And there's enough like different niches that you can go through, like to have an interesting content. If you start following random people, your feed will be random of content, and it won't be interesting to you. Algorithms will be a bit confused to what to give you, and you're not going to get that kind of content, inspiration, connection yourself. So you're kind of creating problems for yourself by following random accounts. I would say keep a personal account, okay, and keep a business account. In that way, if there's random things that interest you and you might just kind of be scrolling randomly and mindlessly, you do it on your personal account. Use a personal account for research. Okay, so there you have it, right? So competitor or trend research, use a personal Instagram account or linked, not the one linked to your business. Once your business page is polished and ready for visibility, then you can start confidently following high value accounts that align with your brand. So basically, you got to think about the first impression when you're following and doing research on your audience. Use your personal account to do that. And when you're actually when you find high profile accounts or high value accounts, you do it from your business when it's ready. Okay, so because this is the impression you're going to give them, and the type of impression you give them at the beginning is going to matter, because you might want to collaborate, you might want to share their content, and if they see you as like a rookie Instagram account, they're not going to engage with you. So hashtag exploration, choose two hashtags. Okay, so we've got a task now. So what I want you to do is open Instagram, but open it on your desktop. Okay. Actually, I don't mind if you open it on your phone. You can open it on your phone as well, but log in to your account. Okay. So hopefully you have got an account. If you haven't, then maybe set one up. I've put some. It's always. I mean, when you look at yourself, you always look a bit like, well, I do. I look too serious. I don't want to look this serious, but I do in all my videos, right? But the content is all right. Okay. But I'm gonna focus on getting better. Now, I've just put some content in there that I'm happy putting on so that you can see content on my profile. I've also for the purpose of this session, I've posted this seven and I started following 10 people. So it's a new account. I've never used Instagram properly, but I followed some people, and these people are from my Facebook. I can recognize the names and the faces, and some suggested for me, which I can also recognize. So what I suggest you do is set up your account, get in, and start adding people that are on your Facebook that you know. Okay, just a few people. Um, but don't randomly add anybody, just people that you know because they're in the same industry. And then just kind of, we're going to explore, okay? So I'm going to use my profile to explore and explain things to you. If you want, you can use your phone. However, it's going to look different. If you use your desktop, I would say use it afterwards, not now while you're viewing, okay? So kind of follow through with me now, and afterwards you can actually go and make some changes if you want. Okay. So the first thing I've done is I've gone to Instagram.com. I've gone into my profile. I've edited my profile. I've clicked on edit. And what I did is change my photo into the logo. Website is basically, if you look here, editing your link is only available on mobile. So if you're on your mobile, you can edit the website link. I can't remember if I did already, and I didn't. Okay, so I need to do that from my um, phone. So what you need to do as well is you go to your phone, you go to your Instagram account, and then it's about clicking your profile, going into edit profile. So there's a button that says edit profile, and scroll down and see if you can find where it says add link. It's just under your bio. So it's under your bio on your phone. I don't know if you can see that right now, but it's under the bio. It says add link. So then it would say add external link or and add WhatsApp link. So add the external link, and that would be your website. If you don't have a website ready, or it's not ready for public, like as in you're not professionally branded yet, then you don't have to add it. But just know where it is, because at some point you want to add your website, because at the end of the day, that is your kind of call to action, that you want people to go onto your website. So I'm just basically adding mine. So you can put a title in as well for your website, and I think that just links afterwards. Make sure you spell your brand name right, because I just spelled it wrong. Okay, done. So I've done that on my phone, and if I refresh here, okay, so you can see it's there now. So you can see it says neuroblockchain.com. So I've got my website. So you need to do that on your mobile. Then you got a bio. So in your bio, put something that is short. You've got 150 characters. Put something short that basically tells people what you are, what you do. You can put your gender in if you like, and then show account suggestions on profile. So basically, it says choose whether people can see similar account suggestions on your profile, and whether your account can be suggested to others. So if you want to grow, which you do, I would have that selected so that people can find your account in this way. You can put it off afterwards if you want, and click submit. Once you've done that, that should be okay. So afterwards, if you on the left hand side, there's a few options in the menus. You can see there's an Instagram menu, this one, and then there's the settings menu. Okay. So we're in the settings. So we went to profile, and then we went here. Okay, you can go here. And when you click on this little toggle here, you'll see like apps and websites, professional account, and so on. You want to have a professional account for for your Instagram. So click on that, and this is where it takes you after you've clicked on your professional account. So if you're on your desktop, if it doesn't look like this, maybe it's because you haven't switched it to a professional account. which gives you more flexibility on your settings and everything. Okay, you get a lot more. So we're just gonna go through all of these in a second, but I'm gonna start off with these first. So get used to these, and then we're gonna go through these. Okay. So the first one, obviously, is home. It will take you to your home. Okay, and in the home, there's your reel. Okay, so other people that you're following, their posts, see it like a social feed. So actually, if you're following the right people, you have interesting stuff that you can like and stuff. Make sure you like, make sure you comment. Engagement between you and your followers will also help the algorithms. It will be positive on your account as well. Because if you're not engaging, what the algorithms will see is like, okay, this is a dormant account. There's no activity. So you have to, even if you're not posting anything, if you're active by liking and sharing or just kind of doing a like here, a comment or something, put the comment in. If you got nothing to post and you're commenting on someone else's post, that is still engagement, okay? It still gives you a little brownie point, okay? So make sure you take advantage of that if you don't have any content or you're creating content and there's been a bit of a gap. So on your homepage, at the top here, if one of your followers or anyone has got a story, that will come up here. See their reels up here, and then your account is on this right hand side. Okay. If you click on switch, it will basically bring up this login, which means that if you've got a personal account and you've logged into your personal account here, you can switch between your personal and your professional. Down here, you've got suggestions. Take, use this. So if Instagram is suggesting people to you, it could be that they follow you. Okay. It could be that they're in your contacts. Okay. If you connected your contacts to your socials, so you might find relatives here. So just be aware of that. And also, it could be people within your Facebook. So just kind of pay attention to anyone here because I can see a few relatives here as well. So you might be adding relatives. So if you don't want that for your business, so just be cautious. And that's about it for home. The only thing I would also point out is these three little dots here. If you click on that on somebody's post, okay, if you want to report them, if you want to unfollow them, if you want to add basically anything to do with this profile that you can do with your followers will be here. So how you got to see it is I want to do something where, like, for example, delete this person or follow this person or whatever, I would click on these three dots and every option about that account is here. Okay. So even about this account. So if you click on that, it'll just like give you more information of this account. If they have some former usernames, that will also come up, right? Because sometimes you get scammers, okay? And it will show that if they're using multiple accounts, okay? So that's another thing that I want to just point out. Obviously, you got bookmarks. Bookmarks shows that you're actually interested in the content. So encourage other people to bookmark your content. Why would anybody bookmark a photo or anything? Well, think about the type of content you're going to create. Is it something that people will bookmark? If it isn't, think about it. Like, what can I create that people will bookmark and save? Maybe a quote, maybe some tips. I would go for like educational tips on like a picture or something like that. And people will bookmark that because it's value. Okay. If you're getting people to bookmark your content, that is really good for algorithms. Okay. Because it shows that people actually want to see your content and they're finding value. So make sure you take advantage of the bookmark. Anything else? Well, there's a little smiley here you can click on, and that within your comments you can put emojis and stuff. I would also, if you're a serious person and you find Instagram a bit kind of not your cup of tea, just you know use some emojis in your comments so that it actually makes you blend in. Okay, it's that kind of thing. You can use some emojis. There's nothing wrong with you using emojis here. It's not LinkedIn, okay? So just kind of be more free with your content, be more relaxed with your content. That's the human element of it. So that's the home. Now search, click on search. You can obviously search for different accounts. So if you're in the health industry, for example, you've got products to do with health, you can type in here health, and then loads of products, loads of profiles will come up. If you click see more, okay, there'll be more, and it'll be kind of this is like a search engine, so you have to go more specific. Typing in just health will give you the accounts that got health in their account name. So it's about finding certain things like healthy recipes that will then take you into an actual like accounts where you've got healthy recipes from different accounts. So this is the actual content rather than the account name. Okay, so if you define it more in the search, it will find you the content. If you're writing something just like health, it'll just give you some accounts with it in the name. But now it's giving me content, and you can see the engagement levels of these. So you can go in and basically analyze, see what kind of hashtags they're using. Like you could literally take all these hashtags, copy it, and put it into a Google Doc or somewhere where you're storing hashtags. Um, the type of images they're using, like literally check that video out, see how creative they are. Think about this like when it's transitioning from one scene to another, like literally within seconds. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. And it stops at him for a bit and then it starts again. Okay. One, two, three, four, five. That's the kind of pace Instagram is moving at. Okay. So it's not like it is a bit like TikTok in the sense that it's very fast paced, but you just got to think about the energy of your content. The energy of your content could be coming from the color, could be from the pace of the video. There's so many different things where the energy is coming from, the creativity of it. Okay, so that's what you got to think about when you're actually creating content. What is it that you're doing that's different? Okay, the storyline, okay, the information, the value that you're providing. Can you see the value? And again, some hashtags for you there. And then the comments, right? So here in the comments, these look heavenly. How do you prefer to cook the potatoes? These questions, maybe, you might pick something up where, you know, are these meant to be refrigerated? Can you freeze them? So there's a lot of questions around freezing. So can you freeze them, please? Okay, so people want to store them away and have them later, maybe. So maybe if you're creating the similar content, you could create a content on how to freeze it, how to store it, okay, how to store your brownies, okay. Um, so you can learn from your audience, you can engage with your audience, you can follow these people as well, because they may become your followers, okay. Just about that journey you need to take. The next one, explore. So when you click on explore, it's going to give you things that it thinks you might like. I don't know how they decide this. But again, it's a bit like Facebook. So it just gives you random things that you might actually like, depending. It could be that people you follow, because my account's brand new. Um, it's not been long. So you literally finding this kind of information and thinking I like it. I don't know what it bases on. I think it's just kind of exploring what's on Instagram popular at the moment. Okay, so that's exploring. Reels, very valuable. Okay, you want to be thinking of reels. Think of reels like short films, like really like entertainment, but short, very short entertainment, and something that people would actually watch. Okay, so each video. And also, when you're creating reels, think about the fact that not everybody's gonna have their audio turned on. Yeah. So even if it's muted, would the video still give value? If it doesn't, maybe you can add some text to make things better. But you want the reel to work without audio. And if you add the audio, it should just complement it or make it even better. So just think about what kind of content you see on Reels. And this is the most similar thing to TikTok. Okay. Messages, very important. It's basically your messages with your audience, sending a message to a friend or group. If I click on that, I can see that individual's now added me, so I can basically chat. If you chat to individuals within your community, it's going to build that bond, as in the algorithm's going to think you've got that bond, and it will show your reels, your content to those people. So it's a bit like Facebook Messenger, very similar, but Instagram is basically what they're keeping, and the one on Facebook is what they're getting rid of. Um, then we go to the next one. I think it was that one, notifications. So notifications, obviously, it's just notifications. When you follow people, when they start following you, you'll get notifications. That little plus sign is you posting, live, going live, or using ads. So on your mobile, this plus sign will be here somewhere. Okay, it'll be here somewhere. On desktop, it's here within the menu. So if I wanted to post something, I would click on post. It'll bring up this, and I can select a video from my computer. Now, I got lots of videos on my computer from before, like videos that I haven't uploaded on Instagram but have been filmed a long time ago. Your question may be, is there any point me uploading videos that have been created long time ago? Answer is there's no problem. It doesn't matter. Okay, as long as it's interesting, you might be able to repurpose that content, edit that content, create value from that previous video. So my advice to you would be, whenever you can, whenever you find an opportunity to film something, film it on your phone, do it vertically, okay, not horizontally, do it vertically, and film it for another day, okay? Literally, like, don't, because just see it as like that's a digital asset. It's value. It's content that you may use one day. Okay. So if you've got a beautiful beach scenery or something like that, or some you're driving and you've spotted something, obviously don't use your phone while you're driving, but you stop your car, you get to a safe place, you film it. It may be valuable for you at another time, a month later, who knows, right? Just take them off your phone, put it onto a hard drive, and call it scenes or footage or something like that. Because when you're creating content, if and this is me coming from a media background, right? When you're creating content, sometimes you want to cut from one scene to another, and that's when you need that extra footage that would create that connection. Okay, so it could be just like a cutaway, basically what it's called. Okay, so you're cutting from one scene to another. Sometimes you need just kind of random like scenery to cut from one scene to another, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, just have some footage on your computer that you can use, and obviously you can use CapCut to edit, other things to edit, and once it's ready, you upload. Um, and the other one is live video. You click on live video here, and your audience, whether you want it to be public, you want to just practice your live video, or close friends. Okay. So if you're not comfortable going live, you might just want to practice. Basically, it's not going to go live. It will just show you everything that you would have seen if you did go live, but it's not going live. So you can just practice. Public is for everyone, and these are just your close friends. But once you selected your audience, you put a title in, click next. So if I put a title in, click next. I have to select an audience. Okay, let's go practice. Click next. At this time, your account is not eligible. So because it's a new account, it's not going to let me do Facebook Live, like Instagram Live, but at some point that will be activated. Okay. So even that should encourage you to start creating content. Maybe you set yourself a target, a goal that you want to go live on Instagram. But obviously, to do that, you need to do a few things. And also think about the loop. Like, look at this guy. He probably meant to do that. He fell. He came back, and where it's cut, It's like he keeps on falling, right? That loop. It's not really a good one, but you know what I mean. Okay, so now we go to the next one, which is the professional dashboard. Okay, so on the professional dashboard, you've got the title here, you've got insights. When you click on insights and you click on account, this is where you'll see your content and some information that will be valuable. So you can check out last 30 days, 90 days, 14 days, 7 days. Your views, I've literally uploaded them like an hour ago just so that I can show you this kind of stuff. Um, so you got 46 views on that one, 9 views on that one, 7, 6, 5. So I can see obviously this one's got the most. Then what you would do is basically pay attention to the type of content that's doing well and create more of that. That was just a picture with the background music. That was just a picture with background music. That was a video with the background music. And that was value around content around AI. But between that one and that one, this one did well. So this one was about AI, but it didn't give much. This one is more about deep learning. Okay, so it's AI, but it's a specific topic within AI, and it's got 49 views. Accounts reach was 35. That one, accounts reach was 4. So obviously, Instagram is pushing that one because it's unique content, as in there's not much content out there around deep learning within the AI niche, but in generically around AI, there's plenty of content that's better than mine. Whereas maybe not many people are talking about deep learning. So this is where I will succeed. Where if I create content that is valuable within a niche, but very specific, that's where you're gonna get rewarded. Okay, that's what that shows you. So random images, photos that are personal, little trips on. They're basically got no connection with the brand. And when you're creating content value, instead of going broad, you go niche. You go niche and create content that is actually doing well. So top content based on views is that one. But if you look at here, top content based on interaction, well, there's not much interaction. So that's another thing that you got to think about is if I create content that is giving value, but I'm also encouraging interaction, then I'm going to win. Okay. Because imagine that video, 49, the same video here is 0. So I need to do that content, but increase engagement. So during that content, if I now get people to post, comment, share, do something, then it will work. So this is how you got to understand what you're creating, your content, where you're winning, where you're failing. So in my scenario, I got to give value, but very niche, specific value, and I need to engage with my audience, and then I'll win. Um, so I got one follower already, but hey, we all have to start somewhere, right? So look, this is a new account. I've just started the journey. You can do too. And what I want you to do is take these tips, give value, give focus, and just keep on creating. Even though it's Instagram, even though you see like a lot of lavish lifestyles and stuff, it doesn't mean that you have to do the same. There's a lot of educational content there. There's a lot of value given through motivational quotes, all sorts of stuff. I'm sure there's stuff that you also create. Now, if you go up here again and click on insights, the other one is content. Click on that. That just brings up your content and it gives those views again. So obviously that's doing well. And then here you can just like organize your content by newest, by views, by accounts reached. It's just basically when you have lots of content, like literally hundreds of it, it's just a place where you can organize. And then from here, you can also go to the ad tools. You don't have to come here. You can literally, it's outside on the inside. So it's ad tools. Now, this is where you create your ad. Okay. So if you wanted to create an advert, like a paid ad, you would create it from here. So this reel is getting likes. So this one is doing well, but we know that this one wasn't the one that did really well. It was the second one, okay? So what it's doing is suggesting one that's not doing well organically, but can do well, okay? If I promote it. So I can click on that and it says use a Facebook ad account for Instagram account. So I can continue and then it'll tell you to connect on Facebook because it uses the Meta Business Suite. Now there's an issue on their end. I don't know why, but they seem to have these issues. I'm going to create an ad, run an ad that won't appear on profile, boost content from profile. So basically, with this one, just upload a new photo or video. So it's directly to the ad. It's not from your profile, and this one is boosting a profile. So if I click on that one, it will tell me to upload an ad or a video or something to use. And if I click on the other one, it'll basically tell me which one I want to use as an ad. So if I wanted to use that one as an ad, I'll click next. Okay, now it's basically wanting me to connect with my Facebook again, and it probably run into that issue. So there seems to be an issue with my Facebook and thing, but once that's connected, I can do that. Maybe because it's a new account and there's some verifications and stuff. Right, going down here, there's more. If you click on more, again from here, you can switch accounts. Go the help. If you've got a problem, you can switch your appearance from dark to light view. Saved, anything that you've saved will appear here. So these on your profile, you've got all your videos. So you've got everything, which is your videos and your images. You've got just your videos, your bookmarks, and then here is photos of you, basically where you've tagged yourself. And from here, you can create a new highlight, a bit like a tweet. And here you can add some notes. And this is something that is on WhatsApp as well. Going down here again, saved your activity. If you click on that, that shows your activity. Like even if you've been on other profiles and you've seen their pictures and stuff, it'll show that as well. It's all your activity. It's not just your images and videos. It's your interactions. Okay, your photos and videos that you've basically uploaded, your account history. So when you basically updated certain things, everything. So that's all the activity there. Um, your likes, your comments, your reviews, so you can check all that out. And down here, also from Meta, if I click on also from Meta, there's Threads. I don't know how popular Threads became because when it first came out, everyone went crazy. They're talking about it, but I haven't heard about Threads for a long time. So I don't know much about it, but I understand that if I go to it, like it's a different account. You have to still log in. It's I think it was supposed to be like Twitter, but for Instagram. Okay. So if you want to log into Threads, you can do it through your Instagram account and it's threads.com. I don't know how popular it is. It's been around for about a year or two. I can't remember how much. If I go public profile and then basically this is me opening an account, I think. So join Threads. And it's good to register your same brand on every platform anyway, just regardless, like if you use it or not, because it might be that in the future you want to use it and then you didn't register the account, somebody else is taking it, right? So I'm using my Instagram to get into Threads, and it's a bit like tweets. Like, can you see it's just tweets? Some images in there like Twitter, but it's very much like Twitter, but it's Instagram's or Facebook or Meta's ownership. So I'm just joining this now. Okay, it's going to send me a code to my phone, so I have to do that. Oh, United. Okay, so put your phone in there. It sends a code. And then once you've got the code, I'm just going to put the code in. So the code will come from Facebook because they own it. Okay, I'm curious to see how popular it is now because it's been a while. I don't know, upload a photo. So I have to upload a photo. I've got no choice, it seems. Anyway, this is where I get stuck, basically. Seems. Okay, I think I've got an image of my um logo here. So I can put that in and then submit. So we're kind of slightly off track, but it's basically Threads is a part of Instagram, a part of Meta. So they all three are um one. You submitted an appeal on the 17th of December. Usually takes, I don't know what that's about. I didn't submit any appeal. Yeah, so there's a few, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, leave that. Let's go out. Okay. I'm not gonna waste time on Threads. I don't think it got that popular, but I might be wrong. Okay. But Threads is there, WhatsApp is there, Meta AI is there. So they're all their three different platforms that they're connected with is from also from Meta. And that's Instagram in a nutshell when it comes to the platform. I'm just gonna come out of there now. On Canva, if you remember, you've got create, and then when you go to create, you've got Instagram posts, but you can also click on Instagram here. And once you click on Instagram here, you've got the posts, you've got the stories, you've got the post that is square, and you've got Instagram ads that you can design here and upload. You've got all of these templates, right? And remember, if when you go in there, you've got the templates in there as well. So within the design, you can click on that. You got the different templates that pop up, and you can use any of these templates. So, like this, that could be a nice image promoting your business, and you would basically download it and then upload it into Instagram for creating content. But also remember that on Facebook in the business suite, remember on business suite, we went in here in the professional dashboard. Remember this. So we had the business suite here, Meta Business Suite. We went in there and there was the planner. Okay. So in the planner, you can basically connect to your Instagram and you can plan out what you're going to post. Everything. Can you see the posts here? They're on my Instagram. Yeah, that one is in Instagram. That was in Facebook, but it posted from Instagram into Facebook. And these are all Instagram. Okay. So even though I've created content on Instagram, it's still in the same planner as Facebook, which means that you can schedule your posts on Facebook and Instagram from here. Okay. So from here, you'd go schedule, you'd go create a reel or schedule a post. You choose one of these, and then it will take you into that. And then it's about whether you want it on Instagram or whether you want it on Facebook. Okay, so once you've connected the two, you're literally using the same business suite to schedule future posts for Instagram and Facebook. So once you put some work in and you know what you're doing, you're basically creating content in advance, you're scheduling it, you're creating it on Canva, you're uploading it, maybe putting it into a folder on your desktop, and from there you're basically loading it up into like a schedule, a planner, and it's going out maybe two or three posts a week, but you're active on these platforms. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna remove these and go back to our slide because I did talk a lot there and a lot of information, and we finished in about 45 minutes. So I'm gonna give you a break. Okay, so we're gonna have a break for about 5 minutes. Okay, so if you want to come back after 5 minutes, get yourself a drink, fresh air, whatever you like, and then what we'll do is we'll continue from the slide. Okay, so the next we're basically setting up the Instagram account, and we've all got an Instagram account by now. But if you haven't, we'll just go through a few things, and we'll find that majority of the stuff I've already covered in that tutorial. but we'll just go through the slides and see if there's anything that we haven't covered. So we'll just go through it. So because we want to make sure that whatever's on Moodle, I cover that everything that you need to know to answer any questions for this unit. Okay. So we'll go through that in a second. All right. So it's 7:17 by my watch. So if you want to come back just before half seven, sorry. Yeah, just about before half seven is fine. Okay, so about 10 minutes, take about 10 minutes, all right? I'll see you in a bit. Okay, everyone, so we're gonna continue now. So just gonna go back to the slide. Um, so can you just type into the chat if you've got an Instagram account now? Just make sure everybody's got one. So just type in yes if you've got one, yeah? So this slide is about going to Instagram, signing up. So majority of you got one, so I can move on. Creating an account from your mobile device is just taking you through how to create one. So we'll skip that. Choosing the right username. Well, basically, it's your brand name. Okay, you want your business name as your username. If it's not available, the closest thing to it, you might have to put another word in, but try to keep it consistent on every single platform. So if you're calling your if you're getting a username that's basically chocolate brownies or Pink Panther or something on Instagram, it needs to be the same on Facebook. It needs to be the same on every single platform. Okay, because that's how people are going to find you. So they'll instantly think, okay, it's the same username. But if it's not, then they may kind of fall off. Choosing your username, make sure it's relevant, avoid clutter, be consistent. So I've talked about consistency. So here you can see Betty's Bridal Shop. So it could that's probably the full name of the brand anyway. Uh, but it could be Betty's Bridals or something like that. So you can still have a username that's relevant if you can't find the same one, but ideally you want the same thing. I think on all my socials it's neuroblockchain except Twitter. And on Twitter, what I did, I had to think creatively. So on Twitter or X, if you go there, um, somebody else has taken neuroblockchain for some reason. I don't know why they did that, but what I did was I used, if you can see that on the bottom here, for the username. What I did was I still had Neuro blockchain, but the O of the blockchain, O is actually a zero. So I kind of compromised my O, turned it into a zero. So it could still say Neuro blockchain. It was the closest thing I could have to my username on all the other platforms. Okay, so that's important. And then if we carry on. So how to change your Instagram username. Basically, if you've changed it once, you're gonna have to wait 14 days to change it again if you want to change it. Okay, so there's a little waiting period. Crafting the perfect page name. Basically, it can be different. Okay, so your page name can be different from your username if you want it to. Maybe your handle, your username is a abbreviation or short or something else. Your name needs to be very clear on what it is. Okay, it doesn't have to be unique, but it's your business name, so it has to match with what you're actually talking about. Writing an effective bio and adding links. Okay, so keep the bio short, keep it impactful. You've seen mine, one to three lines. Like here, you've got social media consultant, which basically tells you who Charlotte is, helping your brand grow online, what she does, and then the hashtag that she uses with all her posts so that you can find her. So if you use that hashtag, you'll find her. And then her website address, Charlotte Digital. And that's another one that you can use. You can, if you're into marketing, you could have a word like digital on the end. So, like for example, I could use bilaldigital.com. So if you're mixing your name with digital, there could be a chance that you can find that available. So don't forget to use your website link just like that, because that is your call to action from your bio. Okay, so next one. Bio continued. Okay, so a good Instagram bio accurately explains your business and what you do. Think about what sets you apart from your competitors. Do you have a unique set of services or products that might interest your followers? So basically, if you do, then you could put it here about your products. Okay, so here it says be palm free, live naturally, live heavenly. I post about our heavenly soaps, heavenly flowers, and heavenly creatures, heavenly earth, and so on, right? So the whole idea here is everything's heavenly, and loads of products here. So health and beauty products is very visual. You can take some amazing pictures. Food, very visual, you can take lots of pictures. If you're selling an online course or something like that, then the subject matters. And for example, I obviously teach about digital marketing, AI. Now, what do I take pictures of? Well, for me, I would think of going to an event, maybe a tech event, take some pictures at the tech event of new innovations, new tech software, maybe do some tutorials and give value. So mine is a bit different from what you usually see, but there's a whole kind of uh group of profiles that I could relate to. So I would need to follow them. If you're in health and health niche, there's a lot of people in that area where they're all creating content, and there's I'm sure you can find inspiration from other accounts. So here it says you are to spend 20 minutes creating your new account. You don't need 20 minutes. You've all got a new account using your username, completing your bio. If you have a website already. Okay, so how many of you have already got a bio written? Has anybody not got a bio written? Okay, type in the chat and let me know. Just gonna change that. Okay, I do have one. I do have one. It's very simple though. That's fine. Who doesn't have one? Anybody who doesn't have a bio yet? It's literally just a sentence that you need to write. Okay, Kieran doesn't have one. Okay. Obviously we've all got accounts now, so you don't need that long. So some of you haven't got a bio. I want you to just think about a bio, okay? Those who haven't got one. So there's three or four of you who haven't got a bio. Just use the next. I'll give you let's see, what time is it? Okay, take 5 minutes just to think of a bio. You don't have to stick to it, but just take 5 minutes to think of a bio and see if you can add a bio. If you have got a website, but you haven't got it in your Instagram, you can also put a website address in, only if you're happy with people going from your Instagram to your website right now. If your website isn't ready, you don't have to put it in now. If you're concerned they're gonna find a half created website or one that's not active, but just go there into Instagram and just kind of see where you need to put the website, just so that when you're ready, you know where it is. And as for your bio, see if you can write something now. Um, Make sure you keep it short, relevant to what you do. Okay. Very short, as in literally like 3 or 4 words. So take 5 minutes and see if you can improve some content. Maybe you want to add some hashtags into your bio as well. So you can do that as well. Yeah. So take 5 minutes. If you've done those things, if you've already got a website, you've already got a bio, then just take that 5 minutes to just improve your knowledge of Instagram. Just browse around on it. Okay. So hopefully you've got a bio now. If you haven't, don't worry about it. You can think about. If you need some more time, you can think about it later. As long as you know where to put your bio, where to put your website address. Okay. If you are using your mobile, it will look slightly different to the location where you saw on the desktop. But it's basically clicking on edit profile. Let me just check on my mobile. I think it's edit profile. Yeah, it's edit profile on if you're using your mobile. There's literally two buttons. One says edit profile, one says share profile. So you click on edit profile and you just change it, right? So we're going to go back to the presentation. Just make sure you can see it. Just bear with me. Share. Okay. Right. So just 1 second. Let me make sure it's all right. Okay. Switching to an Instagram business profile. So while you can use Instagram with a personal profile, switching to a business profile offers you more powerful tools to help you grow your business, your presence, and connect with your audience more effectively. A business profile allows you to access real-time insights, track performance, build trust. Switching to a business profile is highly recommended for any brand that wants to grow on Instagram. Okay, so
Okay,
make
how do
sure.
you, sorry, Bilal, how do you do that again?
Yeah, so I think I've done it on mine already, which is why it's not showing. But if you haven't got a business profile, there should be an option somewhere to convert it into a business profile. Um, if anybody finds that link on your screen, let us know because I think I've already got mine because it says professional dashboard. Let me just see. Because once you click on make it into a business profile, you can't, I don't think you can go back either. I might be wrong, but let me see. Yeah, you can change it back if it is a business profile. So I'm going to ch change mine back to see if I can show you where. So switch to personal account. Switching to personal. When you switch to a personal account, you will lose access to your in-app insights from all your content, including your promotion. You will lose access to the Meta Business Suite, such as Meta. Okay, I can probably get it back. So I'm going to turn it into a personal account first. Then hopefully I can see where, hopefully it's not going to restrict me. Okay, so I've turned it into personal account, then hopefully I can tell you where you need to go. Okay, so what you need to do, if you're using your mobile, you need to click on the hamburger menu at the top right corner, which is the three lines. So from your profile, um, you need to click. I don't know if you can see me right now. Let me just see. Can you guys see me? Yeah, you can. So I don't know if you can see my blur's on the background. Just bear with me a second. Just 1 second. Just because I take off the blur. Right. If I go there, at the top corner, can you see the hamburger menu on the top right? You need to click on that. Okay. Once you click on that, scroll down. So they're in categories. The settings are in categories. Okay. So you need to scroll down all the way down to where it says your which one? Yeah, for professionals. So it says so it's family centered then for professionals, and under that it says account types. Okay, so I'm just showing you on camera where it says account types. So you click on account types and tools, and then it will give you an option to switch to professional account, if you can see that. So if you can see that there. Okay, so switch to professional account. I know it's not that clear, but hopefully you can see it there. Switch to professional account under account type and tools. That's on a mobile, and you can turn it into professional. Now I'm gonna share my screen on desktop. I'm going to Instagram to if you're on desktop, let's see if we can get there. Okay, so we're on the desktop one. Going to my account. This is my profile. And where do I go from here? Well, I think it's the settings here. Settings and privacy. So that brings you here, and then from here you go down to for professionals here. You see it says for professionals. Under that it says account type and tools. Click on that, and then from here switch to professional account. Okay. So in the settings, you scroll down, and under for professionals, you see account type and tools. You're switching to professional. So then it on your desktop, I don't know if it does that on your mobile, but here it's saying which best describes you, creator or business. I'll go for creator and go next, and then flexible profile controls, simplified messaging, more growth tools. Click next, and then you can show your category on your profile. So you can go, for me, it could be education. It could be education. It could be editor, or I don't know. Let's support technology, tech here, and done. Switch to a professional account. Continue. Your Instagram creator account is ready. Done. And that's it. Okay. So that should create a professional account for you. So is everybody happy with that? Just type in yes if you're happy, no if you're not. Okay, so everybody switch to professional, yeah? And then you should get more analytics and things like that. Okay, brilliant. So let's continue. Benefits of an Instagram business profile. So basically switching over. Once you've switched to a business profile, you'll gain access to several valuable features that help you manage your growth, basically your page. Share contact information, sell products directly, engage through stories and messaging, running ads, promotions. These features make Instagram not just a social platform, but a complete marketing and sales tool. So it's about you now. Now that your account is a professional business account, it's about you now creating content, researching your audience, engaging with your audience, selling products to your audience, doing stories, doing reels, getting active. If you're not active, if you're not creating content, like I've put a few posts on there today just to kind of demo all of this. But if I'm not active now, what's going to happen? I'm not going to get anywhere with the analytics. It's nothing's going to be useful. But once you get like, say you've posted quite a lot and you get into the groove of things and you're actually enjoying the process, then you'll see the rewards. Okay, so it's when you're on this journey with social media or marketing or becoming an entrepreneur, creating your own business, you have to enjoy the process. Okay, your motivation should be through the process, not the end result. Okay, because the end result, by the time you get there, you've taken so long. If you're not enjoying the process, you're gonna find yourself giving up. If you're not getting quick results, you're gonna maybe you're gonna hit some kind of roadblock or some kind of you know, you'll get tired basically because your rewards that you're looking for is not coming. So, but if you focus that on actually learning and exploring and engaging and enjoy the process, then the rewards are coming from comments, the rewards are coming from a single like, and being able to solve a problem for yourself, for your platform, being able to help somebody. Those things should be the reward, not the money from selling the product, right? That is going to be your byproduct. Okay, so basically if you just focus on the journey of building up Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, building the community, what you'll find is the engagement is coming at the right time and your products will sell when you least think about it. People who focus too much on selling, it just makes it a bit unauthentic. Your audience will know you're trying to sell something. If there's no personality, there's no connection, they're just going to buy from somebody they actually like rather than buying it from you who's just trying to get rid of something and make some money. Yeah. So that connection, that journey is very important. And building that business profile allows you to run it like a business. So you're not just wasting time. You've literally got all the tools you need to build a business around it. Carry on. Okay, so switch to your Instagram account in your business profile. It's just telling you what you should do, and we've already done it. So let's move on. Instagram business account again. A business account is ideal for brands, organizations, and services providers. It gives you access to audience insights, demographics, um, uh, things like call to action, and then your promotional ads, your inbox, managing your messages, basically everything that we need, right? So let's go forward. Before going public, before going public or making your account public, make sure it offers visitors engaging and authentic impression first. I personally think that's not that important. Okay. I personally think you make your account public anyway. If they catch you some of your content that isn't perfect, don't worry about it. It's a journey, yeah? So some of your content ain't gonna be perfect. That's fine. Nobody's gonna judge you on that because you're just starting. Eventually you'll be able to look back at that content and see your improvement, how you've evolved, and you can even talk about that and create more content. So ask yourself, do you already have content published? If it's yes, then great. If it's empty or inactive and you made it public, there's nothing wrong with that. People are, unless you're pitching your business and people are coming to you and researching and looking at your socials and then thinking, okay, they're new on social and they're supposed to be a digital marketing company, then I understand, okay, don't make it public yet because you're selling that as a service and your account isn't ready. Okay. So think about that. Okay. So if you're actually selling this as a service, social media marketing, then your account should have some kind of content on there by now, right? So in that case, this actually is valid information. Okay, don't go public without getting ready with some content. Is your content engaging and relevant? Well, when you create content, just make sure you're not creating it for yourself. Make sure you're creating it for your audience. Does your page reflect your brand story? Well, it's about mixing up different posts, making it exciting. It might not be directly about your products, but it might be about the values you hold, the mission that you have, things that you're involved in as a company or a community or as an individual that people will admire, get inspired by, and so on. So, carrying on, plan your time and stay consistent. We've talked about this before on other platforms. Consistency, realistic expectations, building that realistic expectation. If you can't post 3 posts a day, don't start posting 3 posts a day because you can't keep up with it and it's not going to be consistent. Realistically, how many times can you post? But remember, scheduling, remember automation. Um, what's not possible manually may be possible through automation, through scheduling. Okay, but be realistic so you can maintain that um, schedule. Define your Instagram business strategy. Well, here we need to think about our marketing goals. Okay, what are we trying to achieve? Who is our target audience? And be able to list some visual tools or things that we'll use. So the first thing here, okay, so you want to achieve with your Instagram account. What do you want? Obviously, there's brand awareness, there's traffic to your website, generating sales, building a community. These are good examples. You will have your own reason for building up Instagram. Most likely, it will be connection with your audience, brand awareness, driving traffic to your website, that kind of thing. So it'll be a mixture of them. Okay, so have that clear. Target audience, who is your target audience? We already covered this a number of times. You need to understand who you're talking to with your content. And finally, resources. I talked about this where just film if you find an opportunity to film something that looks good, film it. You might not need it now, you might need it later, and it saves you from buying content or purchasing images or stuff for other creative content that you're going to create. So keep a hold of your digital assets. In when it comes to tools and visuals, you've got Canva, you've got what's it called, CapCut. These kind of applications are worth um considering. Okay, use the free version, but also think about purchasing if it's something that you use all the time. Okay, so you need the tools to create your content. That could be software, could be that you need the actual assets, or it could be that you need some money. Okay, if it's some money, be realistic again. On a monthly basis, maybe you're investing in yourself 30, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever's affordable by you. That could go into education, that could go into paying for a subscription on a platform, but set yourself a small amount of money a month to invest in your own knowledge, education, business, whatever. Yeah. But if you have a budget, then obviously you plan that budget out and see how you can increase your resources, which will then help you here. I think a good way to go is the tools, applications, maybe use Canva Premium, and then maybe invest in a good like a project management tool if you'd been serious about, the actual CRM side of things, managing a business. But all of this will come at a later stage. For Instagram, this budgeting is mainly around the ads. So when you're posting ads, you're paying not posting ads, when you're actually paying for ads, you're basically paying for your business to get traffic to your Instagram, or it could be using a piece of content on Instagram and you're boosting it so you're getting more followers. If you want to use money to pay for that, obviously it's going to cost you. If you don't have the money, then use the time to create content and do it organically. So I'm just going to go next, and there's a template here. You can see here Instagram business template. Now, I don't think I have a template to give to you. But if you look at this, okay, Instagram business template, it's your marketing goals, having some goals for Instagram, like what you're trying to achieve. So you may put brand awareness here. You may put like build a community, create more content. I don't know. Put something in for your marketing goals. Your target audience, you should be already working on defining your target audience. So you may have another document somewhere where you're building that up. If you don't, then let's see if I can find you a template, because I did see some templates online. So if I put social media um, persona and then template. And I'm gonna go to, I think it was from HubSpot that I actually downloaded the free one. Get started free, generate more leads with less effort. No, that wasn't it. Um, User persona examples, user persona template. Let's see if that, okay. Use this template. See what this is. Okay, it wants me to sign up. I'll do that just for you guys. So let's go in there. There's some companies they give away free templates. Okay, messing around with me. I don't even know who that is. You just randomly kind of joining something. So I'm going to put persona template here. Sometimes you get a really good template. Okay, let me see in images. I'm looking for something like this. So that's not free. I don't think it's there. This is what I wanted. Okay. Take that. Save it. Go to ChatGPT. Create a Word doc with this info. Make it editable. So let's see if it can do that for us. Meanwhile, just go back. Okay, so let that do that. So basically, if I can't get your template right now, I'll get one later. But if in your when I give you this presentation, you'll have this slide anyway in the presentation. Okay, so you can always copy this information onto another document and fill it in, or you could fill it in on the actual presentation if it allows you to edit. So let's see what that's done for me. Buyer persona. Okay, that might actually work. So I'm going to send that into the chat for you guys. Oh, where's it gone? Just send it in the chat. Just bear with me a second. Buyer persona. So use this document that I've just sent you. If you want to, it's up to you if you want to use it, but it's to help you to kind of create your own buyer persona, your target audience, define your target audience. I'll also send you the presentation, the slide deck for this unit. So that's the slide unit, the slide deck just basically coming through now. And if I quickly go to the slide again and carry on. Just bear with me a second. I don't know why I got this other window coming up. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to go back one. So after this, I'm just seeing if we've got any more slides. Okay, I think we've come to the end anyway. There we are. So the next slide is basically the course impact. So we understood why we should use Instagram, target audience, basically defining the purpose of your Instagram account. It could be branding, it could be customer engagement, it could be finding new customers, understanding your target audience and researching competitors. That's an ongoing process for some of us. But I talked about why we should research our competitors. We looked at, I gave you a tutorial on setting up your Instagram account. All of us said we got our Instagram account. We looked at putting a bio in there. We looked at the settings and everything. Hopefully, all of you switched over to a business account and creating an Instagram strategy. And that strategy is basically about you understanding who your target audience is. And if I go back here, so who your target audience is and what you want to achieve for your Instagram account. So whether it's brand awareness, drive traffic, you just have to understand which one it is. Once you've figured out your target audience, it's about how you create content for Instagram that these people are going to be interested in. And as I told you, the best way to do it is you reach out, you connect with people they're following, you're using the same hashtags, you're building a community, you're creating value, you're creating interesting content, you're enjoying the journey of doing that. And you're not focused on results, you're focused on content and value and quality and consistency. And that is your strategy. That's what your strategy should be to get anywhere with Instagram, okay? And then that becomes a part of your bigger strategy, your business strategy, which is your funnel, your campaign. And in your campaign, you'll say, I'm going to use Instagram for brand awareness, to reach that target audience of that demographic. And within, when you're focused on Instagram itself, it's basically you're clear who your target audience is, and there's certain things you're going to do, like the hashtags and the following and creating the content in a specific way, like vertical and so on. Now, I know we're over 8 o'clock. I'm gonna play a video, okay, that I've got off YouTube. Okay. I'm gonna play that and it's gonna give you some tips on Instagram. You're free to leave if it's time over for you, like 8 o'clock is your deadline. If you want to stay and watch the video, you can. Okay, it's up to you. Make sure you've got your slide deck. Make sure you've got the persona document if you want to use that as a template. So, like I said, you're free to leave now because the session is over at 8 o'clock. But I'm going to share a video that you can watch if you've got some time. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm going to just play that now.
Instagram does not stop growing. There are more and more users and more content on this social network. More than 2 billion people use Instagram monthly, and surely your company also has its own profile. Although the time where growing was quick and easy is over. In this video, we will see all the ways to do digital marketing on Instagram, and then some tips on how to grow on this platform today. So let's not wait any longer, and let's get started. We can classify digital marketing into two main groups: organic actions, which would come to be posts, stories, reels, etc., and then advertising actions, such as promotions, advertisements, etc. Depending on your budget, you can adapt your marketing plan to your needs. So now we are going to tell you more in detail about each group. Let's start with organic actions. These actions are the most basic on Instagram, but not the least important. Let's take a look at the points to keep in mind. Define your goals. Don't stop at vanity metrics such as the number of likes, and look for ways to link your presence on this network to your business objectives. Create a company account. It is not advisable to market on Instagram with personal accounts, as you would be missing out on multiple functionalities, such as Instagram statistics, Instagram ads, or Instagram shopping, which we will see in the next group. Analyze your competition. If you're just starting your journey on Instagram, or even if you've already had your strategy for a while, an important step is to analyze what your competition is doing on social networks, and in particular on Instagram. It's not a matter of being obsessed with the competition or replicating what they do, but being aware of the content that your potential audience is already consuming, to differentiate yourself and add value with something new and fresh. Create your community. The way to increase your visibility on Instagram is to create community. Don't just use Instagram as if it were a showcase. Take the time to ask interesting questions to your followers and interact with them as much as possible. Reply to their comments, take polls. Instagram can also be an opportunity to expose yourself and show the most human side of the brand. Show the day-to-day, how each order is prepared in the case of a store, or you can even dare to explain challenges or problems that arise. All this will make followers empathize with the brand and with who is behind it. Not only will you be interacting with your future customers, but you will also build loyalty with your existing customers, and they will recommend you if you are attentive to their suggestions and comments. Optimize your profile. Your account name is crucial for SEO and brand identity. For a business account, add your name and the subject of your content. For example, Sally, English teacher. The next step is the description or biography. It highlights how your product, service, or content will benefit others. For example, we help you learn English for free. It is important to include a call to action, such as request your appointment now, as well as a recognizable avatar, which does not contain too much information, but is visually striking and memorable. If you have more than one website to promote on your profile, try using platforms such as Linktree, which groups different links into one. Create a consistent brand image. Instagram is first and foremost a visual network, where a picture really is worth 1,000 words. To take advantage of its full potential, you must create a coherent aesthetic in your publications, so that they stand out within the feed and are immediately recognizable. Make the most of Instagram Reels, vertical videos of a maximum of 90 seconds that compete head-to-head with TikTok. Undoubtedly, to grow on Instagram today, you have to take advantage of the potential of Reels. To ensure greater success, we recommend you first of all take advantage of the first 3 seconds to highlight the most important and capture the viewer's attention. You can use large text, an impactful sound, or a transition with movement. Include subtitles in the video to make the content accessible and understandable, as well as making it more dynamic. Use trending formats or challenges, as well as audio or filters that are gaining popularity to ride the trend wave.
That happened? You didn't wreck it? You didn't hit anybody? You didn't run anybody over?
And finally, bear in mind that videos featuring people tend to be more successful, so it is advisable to use them as a creative resource in your creatives. Within the content strategy, it is advisable to include videos that present personal experiences related to your company, including the audience in the process and your day-to-day. You can record fragments of the daily life of your company, show the more human face that we mentioned before, make funny content, or simply informative content of value that solves doubts and pain points of your potential customers. Remember to use hashtags according to the content. In addition, before publishing the reel, make sure you choose the 3 topics related to your video so that Instagram can recommend it to those who may be most interested. Use custom covers. Covers are the static image users see on your profile before entering a reel. Use them to clearly indicate the content of each video and make navigation easier. Covers can be a still from the video or an image that you can select from your gallery, but keep in mind that in the feed they will appear cut in a square format. You can also add text stickers to highlight a title. The important thing is that these covers are eye-catching, clear, and identifiable with your brand. Use stories. Stories don't need to look as polished as permanent images, nor do they need to follow the brand aesthetic to the letter. This is where you can take advantage to try to interact as much as possible with your audience. Record more fun and everyday moments, share your posts and reels so that they have more reach, highlight your stories. Instagram gives you the option to create a group of stories and highlight them on your profile. This way, new users who discover you will be able to see these stories and get to know the more informal side of the brand and what kind of content they are going to find. You can also highlight, for example, frequently asked questions from your audience, reposts from your customers, etc., without having to post it on your Instagram feed and thus maintain a visual consistency. For example, look at Zara's profile, where they have different clothing lines highlighted. To make it more visually pleasing, we recommend creating covers from your profile highlights. Anchor or pin featured videos. The next thing new users will see on your profile are the first 3 posts in your feed. Once you start posting content, it is highly recommended that you pin the ones that best represent your brand, or even the ones that have had the best reception among your audience. You can choose up to 3, and you can change them at any time. This way, if someone comes to your profile, they will know where to start viewing your content. Take it as a best hits or as a business card for your potential client. Take advantage of captions. Did you know that you can put up to 2,200 characters in Instagram captions? It's a great opportunity to tell your brand story or inform and include steps to follow or tips in captions, also known as copies. Instagram recommends us to start with the most important information, use a personal and consistent tone, try to keep the text short and to the point, and promote actions with direct and simple text. But don't forget the hashtags. A few years ago, it was normal to fill Instagram posts with hashtags. although now it's recommended to use them more sparingly. An average of 3 to 5 hashtags per post may be enough. Remember that hashtags are for users to discover your account, so they need to be relevant and specific. Keep in mind the schedule and maintain regularity. Once you have the company's profile, you can use Instagram's Insights tool. There you will be able to see which days and times it is more efficient to post a publication. When you are already clear about which times are the most optimal, try to make sure they are always the same. Live videos. Since the emergence of Twitch, live videos have become increasingly popular and have been seen to create more community, as they allow total interaction between consumer and brand. Take advantage of them to answer questions, show products, or simply to chat and make the brand more human. Do giveaways. If there's something that gets a lot of interaction, it's giveaways. Set a requirement to participate, like liking the post and following your account. But don't overdo it, because people like when things are made easy for them. Just with these tips, you'll surely notice an important change in your interactions and followers. In order to speed up the process, and if you have the means, you can use Instagram's non-organic actions. What are they? Let's look at the most important ones. Instagram ads are a very powerful option and allow you to adjust some features to reach the audience you are looking for. So investing in it can give you the push you need. Make sure you segment your ads well and always include a call to action. To use Instagram ads, go to your profile and click on the post you want to promote. Press the Promote Post Create button and start customizing your ad. You can choose age groups, location, gender, or you can choose accounts similar to yours if you don't have a clear idea of your audience yet. At the end, it will let you choose the budget and the time of the ad. The longer it lasts, the more money you will invest. The feature to promote a post is a simple way to promote your ads. But as many of you know, Instagram is part of Meta, the same company as Facebook, and as such, shares the same advertising platform. This gives you access to a huge range of possibilities for more complex and elaborate campaigns, with multiple ads, multiple placements, and more control over where and how your posts are displayed. Keep this in mind for when you're ready to take the plunge. Partner with micro-influencers. We already know that Instagram is one of the favorite sites for influencers, so collaborating with one of them can quickly multiply our reach and visibility. On the other hand, mass influencer marketing is not always worth it. Instead, it makes more and more sense to look for nano-influencers between 1,000 and 10,000 followers, or micro-influencers between 10,000 and 100,000, with smaller but more interactive and specialized audiences. Sometimes you don't need to invest money in them. You can talk to them and make collaborations by giving away products or services of yours in exchange for good ratings or a promotion or giveaway or post on their Instagram. Sell on Instagram. If you have an e-commerce, you can take advantage of the publications of your products to sell them. Shopping on Instagram is a set of features that allow people to easily buy from your brand's photos and videos on Instagram. You can create your store online and on Instagram, so your followers don't have to go to external sites to shop. Within your store, you can create collections and detail pages where you can link to your website. In addition, you can add product tags to the posts you make so that with just one click, users can get more information. How to grow on Instagram today. Before we finish the video, let's take a look at some tips on actions you should stop doing on Instagram and actions you should do to grow on Instagram. Let's start with the actions you should not do. Overly edited images. Too professional photos can create distance with your audience. Upload aesthetic but natural photos. Horizontal content. Now the content that is consumed is mostly vertical. In addition, on the mobile screen, vertical posts stand out more than horizontal ones. So don't turn your cell phone upside down when creating content. Not using music or sounds in Reels, or always the same. As we have already mentioned, using the popular music of the moment is key to reaching more people. But it is not nice to hear the same song in each publication. Posts only in feed. Instagram is now much more than that. Upload Reels, stories, videos, and use the different options Instagram gives you to spread your content and give it the best chances to grow. Making the perfect feed. It is clear that before Instagram was based 100% on aesthetic images. But now it goes much further, and you have the opportunity to create more creative content without the fear of a messy feed. Ignoring comments. We repeat that Instagram is not a showcase. Interact with your audience. Buying followers. It is increasingly penalized, and a user can quickly notice if you have many followers but little engagement on posts. And this can make them doubt your brand and not trust it. Following back or following many accounts. Any unnatural behavior can be detrimental to your account. Follow relevant accounts with which you interact or share industry, context, or interests. Actions you should be doing. People-led marketing. Include content from people in your brand account, be it people from the company, content creators, or influencers. If you want to know more about people-led marketing methodology, we recommend you watch this video. Carousels with music. Upload more than one photo and add viral music. Record with your cell phone and show the most natural and close side of the brand. Look at the camera and dare to appear in your videos. And if you can't for any reason, count on your customer success stories, collaborate with influencers or content creators, or use content generated by your users. Add dynamic subtitles to videos so that people who watch videos without sound can understand the content. Follow trends and adapt them to your sector. For example, Instagram publishes a summary of trends every month in its creators account that you can't miss. Collaborate or interact with similar accounts to create community and grow in your niche. With all this information, we hope you can grow your account and make your digital marketing strategy on this platform more effective. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Follow us and hit the little bell so you don't miss any content about digital marketing, and see you in the next video.